Tata Kanchana Goranga Radha Brindamanishwari Vishabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhibhaya Patitana Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nibhisesa Sunyavadi Pashtat Dasti Satarine Namo Mahavajaya Krishna Prema Prada Yate Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati Se Namaha Se Krishna Chaitanya. Let me see. Okay. Se Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Siva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank everyone for those who have tuned in, for being here this evening. Of course, even in my time and the daytime, afternoon or morning is your time. I am back in Vrindavan. I've been traveling in the past almost 10 days or so, because we have Rathiatra celebrations in practically many cities in India. So I was able to attend 2 or 3 of them, be with devotees and speak some kata. So it's a very joyous period of the time of the year, whereby the devotees, they take Jagannath and they put Jagannath from Dwarka to Vrindavan. So before we begin, there is a prayer to Jagannath Balade Subhadra, which I will just recite. I will recite the prayer and then this should be this prayer. These are the prayers to Jagannath, Baladi, and Subhadra. First prayer to the Jagannath, I recite as follows: Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadriyabhyam Jagannatayate Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Jagannath, along with Lord Baladev and Srimati Subhadra, the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Jagannath resides in Nilachala, Purushottama Kshatriya, and is the Paramatma, the super soul of all living entities. Deva Deva Jagannatha Prapanati Vinasana Traimam Pundare Kaksha Patita Babasagari. O God of gods, O Jagannath, O Lord of the universe, please destroy the great distress that has overcome me. O Lotus-eyed Lord, please deliver this fallen soul from the ocean of material existence. Namaste Jagadadhara Jagadatma Namastute Kaibaya Trigunatita Gunajana Namastute. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the support and the very soul of the universe. You are transcendental to the influence of the three modes of material nature and above the impersonal Brahman, and yet you are decorated with wonderful transcendental qualities. I offer my repeated obeisances unto you. Karunamrita patodhe sudane namo namaha. Dinodaraika guyaya kripa patodaye namaha. To you, who are an ocean of nectarian compassion and whose abode is most attractive, I offer my obeisances again and again. In a most mysterious way, you are the sole uplifter and deliverer of the fallen souls. O ocean of mercy, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Paritrai Jagannatha Dina Bando Namostute Nistino Ham Babam Bodhim Prapratva Taranim Sukham. O Lord Jagannath, please rescue me. O friend of the fallen, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Now that I have attained you as my safe boat to cross the ocean of material existence, I have been delivered. Sri Jai Jagannath, Jagannath Prabhu Ki Jai. Now, pranam to Baladev Prabhu, to Lord Baladev. Namaste Haladu Rama, Namaste Musala Yuda, Namaste Revati Kanta, Namaste Bhaktavat Salaha. Obeisances to you, O Balaram, O holder of the plow. Obeisances to you, O wielder of the mace. Obeisances to you, O beloved of Revati. Obeisances to you, who are very kind to your devotees. Namaste Balinam Shrishta, Namaste Dharani Dhara, Pralambare Namaste Stu Trayimam Krishna Puvaja. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Balaram, the best of the strong and the support of the earth. Obeisances unto you, O enemy of Pralamba, please deliver me. O elder brother of Krishna. Jai Baladev. Pranam to Lady Subhadra, Subhadra Devi. Devi Cham Vishnu Mahayapi Mohayanti Characharam Re Padma Sanasam Sashi Vishnu Baba Nusarini. O Subhadra Devi, you are Lord Vishnu's Maya potency, and as such, you cause the bewilderment of all moving and non-moving living entities in the universe. You reside in the lotus of the heart and perform all activities exactly according to Lord Vishnu's desires. Jaya Devi Bhaktadatri Prasida Parameshwari Jaya Devi Subhadri Twan Sabesham Vardadayini. All glories to you, the bestower of Bhakti. You are famous as Parameshwari, the supreme controller. Please be satisfied with me. All glories to you, Subhadra Devi. You bestow transcendental auspiciousness to one and all. Jai Subhadra Mai Ki Jai. Now, we may pronounce to Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra kills the demon that protects the devotees. Sudarshan Mahajwala Koti Suya Sama Prabha Agyananda Shame Nitya Vishnu Magam Pradasaya. O Sudarshan, your burning effulgence is as brilliant as millions of suns. Please dispel our darkness of ignorance and thus reveal the path to the eternal world of Vaikuntha. Namaste Nitya Vilasad Vaishnavastra Niketanam Abhaya Veyanam Vyam Yadrupam Vishnu Sta Pranamamyaham. I offer my obeisances unto the brightly shining Sudarshan chakra, which never fails to offer all protection to the Vaishnavas. I humbly bow down before Lord Vishnu's weapon of irresistible strength. So devotees, they are always protected by Subhadra Devi, by Sudarshan chakra. So our obeisances again and again unto Sudarshan, who is the weapon of Lord Vishnu. So we are just beginning here tonight. And this discussion tonight is going to take to, now we're dealing with the internal aspect, internal aspect of the appearance of Lord Jagannath. Normally there is regular reasons of who Jagannath is, the historical aspect, which I narrated last week, the historical aspect in terms of how Jagannath was found. But there is a confidential reason by which we will be discussing today. So when devotees pull Jagannath Rath Yatra, Jagannath Rath Yatra is devotees taking Krishna from Dwarka to Vrindavan. Normally, in Jagannath Puri, it's from Sri Jagannath Temple, which is called Sri Mandi. Sri Mandi is whereby, which is a very huge festival, very big festival, millions, at least almost 30 million people will gather on the day of Rath Yatra. Fortunately, I've been there a few times in the Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. And the first time when I went there, I was able to, the next day actually, I was able to get onto the cart of the Jagannath. It's huge cart. And Jagannath is big, I mean, it's huge. Weight 1 ton. So I was able to get on the cart, and the Jagannath Pujari, he allowed me to embrace the Jagannath. So I was able to, my hand was able to spread around the feet of Lord Jagannath. So it was a very momentous experience for me. So I felt myself being blessed. Actually, you mentioned that anyone, whoever visited Jagannath Puri, the person will not experience another birth in this material world. Anyone who's ever visited Jagannath Puri. Not to talk of being on the Rath Yatra day itself. And the demigods, when they see the residents of Jagannath Puri, they only see them as inhabitants of Vaikuntha. They don't see them as being from this material world. They see them only as Vaikuntha residents. And there's one book which I published some time ago. This book is called a Sri Kshetra. Sri Kshetra, let me see if I can get it here. Sri Kshetra means, it means the Vaikuntha on earth. I don't know if anybody here has seen the book, but I'm sure Srivas Prabhu, who's online, he has seen this book called a Sri Kshetra. Let me show you here. Sri Kshetra. Okay, so this book was published after my trip to Jagannath Puri. I cannot get the photo online. But I was going to show you. Anyway, so Jagannath Puri is special. So from the temple of Lord Jagannath, on the day of the Rath Yatra, everyone pulled the Jagannath carts to a place called Sundarachala or Gundicha Temple. So Gundicha Temple is it's about 3 miles away from the temple of the Jagannath, and then the Jagannath, the Rath is pulled from there, from Jagannath Temple to Temple of Gundicha. Historically, Gundicha was the name of the wife of King Indradumna, so it's called Gundicha Temple. But however, it's called a Sundarachala, and it's considered to be the replica of Vrindavan. So it's a Vrindavan replica, and devotees, they pull Jagannath, they pull the Rath, the cart of Jagannath from Gundicha Temple, from Jagannath Temple all the way to Gundicha. And it's not just a small walk, even though it's 3 miles, sometimes it may take 2 days, 2 or 3 days to reach the other side. Therefore, there's millions of people are there. Not just millions of people are there, but taking Jagannath, Baladi Subhadra, there is a big affair. It's not a small affair. So, other devotees taking Jagannath, but taking Jagannath from pulling Jagannath cart is actually taking Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. Because when Lord Krishna was performing his pastimes, his Lila, at that time, Krishna had been in Dwarka. Krishna had been in Dwarka, but he was always feeling the intense separation from the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Intense separation. So I'm going to get to that in a while. That I'm going to discuss this separation. I've discussed that in a way. So Krishna, he wanted to, because everyone from all over India, everyone goes to this place of pilgrimage called Kurukshetra. And there's a lake there. This lake is called a Brahmakund. Normally, anyone who take bath in the Brahmakund, you attain liberation. This lake. It's called a Brahma Sarovar, the lake of the Brahma. Very nice lake. I've been there. So, look, on the pretext of actually going to Kurukshetra, the main reason is that Krishna wanted to meet the inhabitants of Vrindavan. The inhabitants, especially the gopis, Krishna wanted to meet them. And also, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they have, because they know that Krishna is coming to Kurukshetra. Actually, Krishna is their life. Krishna is their prananath. So because they know Krishna is coming to Kurukshetra, they also decided to take a trip to Kurukshetra. So now, all the parties, the devotees of Vrindavan, and also Krishna, and also with all his queens, that time Krishna had 16,108 queens. So everyone met at Kurukshetra. And then, when everyone met at Kurukshetra, so that time, after everyone took their bath, everyone took bath, and then on the pretext of being with the Brijabasis, especially Gopi, Krishna told his party that he's a little bit sick because everyone has taken bath in the Brahma's lake. So Krishna said, I'm a little bit sick, so I want to rest. So in the meanwhile, in this way, the Brijavasi, they came and be with Krishna, they go and be with Krishna. So in this mood of the Gopis of Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressing this mood because after all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna Naihanya. This means Sri Krishna Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha and Krishna. They are two persons, they combine themselves into one personality, which is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not expressing here, he's expressing here. I have the text on the board here from Mother LILA, chapter 1, text number 56. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, Prahara Krishna lana brajaya bhavantara. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to sing the song Seta Parananatha, especially during the later part of the day. And he would think, let me take Krishna and go back to Vrindavan. This ecstasy was always filling his heart. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had now adopted the mood of Srimati Radharani. And then he's saying, the setting is Kurukshetra. The setting is Kurukshetra. And so the setting is there, and then in the mood of Srimati Radharani, so Chaitanya Prabhu is saying, let me take Krishna and go back to Vrindavan. So the purport, by Srila Prabhupada, I read the purport here. Being always absorbed in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu felt the same separation from Krishna that Srimati Radharani felt when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura. This ecstatic feeling is very helpful in attaining love of God in separation. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu has taught everyone that one should not be overly anxious to see the Lord, but should rather feel separation from him in ecstasy. It is actually better to feel separation from him than to desire to see him face to face. When the Gopis of Vrindavan, the residents of Gokul, met Krishna at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, they wanted to take Krishna back to Vrindavan. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also felt the same ecstasy as soon as he saw Jagannath in the temple or on the Rath Yatra cart. The Gopis of Vrindavan did not like the opulence of Dwarka. They wanted to take Krishna to the village of Vrindavan and enjoy the company in the groves. This desire was also felt by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he danced in ecstasy before the Rath Yatra festival when Lord Jagannath went to Gundicha. So as I said, that Gundicha is the representation of Vrindavan, whereby the devotees, they are pulling the carts to Gundicha temple. So there's a verse, very beautiful verse which is actually Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, same chapter 1, text number 58. This is the expression of Srimati Radharani. This is Srimati Radharani's expression, whereby she said, Ya Kumara Hara Saiva Ibara Saiva Chantak Shapas Te Jamilita Malati Surabhaya Prada Kadamba Nilaha Sa Chaibasmi Tatapita Tasurata Vepara Lila Bido Revaro Dasibita Sitaruta Licheta Samont Kantate. So this is Mathura Radharani saying, because now, having met Krishna in Kurukshetra after so many years, it's been almost a little bit over 50 years since Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, then from Mathura went to Dwarka, got married, had big family. Now Krishna and Radharani, they have met in Kurukshetra. They've met there. So Srimati Radharani, she's saying, that very personality who stole my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights of the moon of Chaitra. The same fragrance of Malati flower is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the river under the Vetasi tree. That is my desire. So this is the Srila Rupa Goswami who had actually wrote this verse. He made a compilation of it. Srimati Radharani's expression. Now, there's another verse in the same chapter, which gives a more explanation of this verse that we just read. Now we go to text number 78, whereby Srila Rupa Goswami at the text number 76. He gave a more explanation of this verse. Priya Sojam Krishna Sahachari Kuruksheta Militas Tataha Sarada Tadidam Ubayo Sangam Sukam Tatapyanta Kela Madura Murali Panchamajuse Mano Me Kalindi Pulina Vipinaya Spriyahati. So this is a verse spoken by Srimati Radharani. She said, my dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani. Now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant. But still, I will actually go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his flute, of his sweet flute, playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. This is a very ecstatic expression. Very ecstatic expression, whereby Srimati Radharani is saying that I am the same Radharani, the same Krishna. We are not meeting. We are in this place of Kurukshetra, which is a very beautiful place, Kurukshetra. But there's something missing here. What is missing is the beautiful atmosphere of Vrindavan. The beautiful atmosphere of Vrindavan, where Yamuna river is flowing, where there's so many beautiful flowers, forests, sweet breezes, and especially where you can hear the sweet flute of Krishna. You can hear Krishna's flute. When Krishna plays his flute in the middle of the night, of course, the vibration of that flute goes all over the universe. And then the gopis, they become very, very much attracted. That no matter what they are doing in their home, they will abandon everything and run to the forest to be with Krishna. They will run to the forest and be with Krishna. And then, of course, when they meet, they will perform, Ras Lila, of course. When you read in Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 29, this is a nicely beautiful, nicely discussed, narrated. There's a section we call a Rasa Panchadhyaya, which there are 5 chapters that deal with Ras. Ras means relationship. So Vrindavan is so special because Vrindavan, we say Vrindavan is the land of Krishna. Vrindavan is a place where Krishna is at home. When Krishna is at home, he's very, very happy. Just like in this world, any big person, let's say the person is a president or governor or whatever, in his office, he may be in his office and he's carrying so many affairs of the state or the king in his palace. Many affairs of the state being carried, and many people are coming to see him. And they basically coming to see him and looking for something, asking for something. But the same big man, very big, everyone is afraid of him in his office when he's outside. But when the big man go back to his home, so in his home, he's not more a big man, he's just a regular person by whom every member of the household, they have a loving relationship with. Could be that of his son, could be the wife of the lover, could be the friends, so many relatives. So there's no question of rigidity or rules or fearfulness or that, oh, this is a big person. That is not there. The person is just a loving father, a loving husband, or a dear friend, or a dear brother. That's just the way when someone is at home. So Krishna is like that in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, Krishna is not God in Vrindavan. Krishna is not God. It's not Param Brahma. And of course, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. We know that. But in Vrindavan, he does not see himself as God, nor does his devotee see him as God. They only see Krishna only as the loving person, sweet loving relationship. In Sanskrit terms, there are 2 words. One is called niti, and the other one is called priti. Niti means rules, regulations. That's niti. And priti means love. Priti and niti. So when Krishna is outside of Vrindavan, he's in Mathura, he's in Dwarka, he's on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, everyone will see him as Supreme Bhagavan, Supreme Lord. And Supreme Lord, they can only pray to him only. They have to pray to him. Or those who are worshiping him, you have to worship, do so many aritis and all that. In the battle of Kurukshetra, just for example, Krishna shows his universal form to Arjuna. Yeah, also he showed the same form also in the courtyard of in the palace of Duryodhana, the Kauravas, when Krishna went to do mediation. The Kauravas, they are so foolish. They think that they could arrest Krishna. And the Krishna said, okay, come. And the Krishna showed his universal form. And everyone ran away. So outside of Vrindavan, everyone is afraid of God. Everyone has to worship him as a Parameshwara, Supreme Brahman. But in Vrindavan is different. Vrindavan is an atmosphere of love. What rules? The rule is only love. Love is the underlying principle of Vrindavan. So that's called Priti. And it's in Vrindavan that Sri Krishna, Lord Krishna feel very much at home. He feels at home in Vrindavan. And that's why he said that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. The original form of Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. This is what the Acharyas, this is what they have expressed, that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So now, if we say that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, Vrindavana Parityaja Pada Ekanam Brajet, that Krishna never even take a step outside Vrindavan. So if you want to say this, now we've read from the Bhagavatam, from the Puranas, that yes, Krishna in fact left Vrindavan. He went to Mathura, he killed Kamsa in Mathura, and after that, then he shifted his family, everyone, all the residents of Mathura, he shifted them to Dwarka. And then from there he stays, and then he got married, so many things like that. So how can you say that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan? This is a very good question. That how do we say that? Now, we can try to understand this from the window of the previous acharyas, who through deliberation of the scriptures, that there are different Krishnas. Krishna in Vrindavan is not the same as Krishna in Mathura or Krishna in Dwarka. See, God is great, but God, he has so many manifestations. So you have Vrindamanish, you have Brajaraj, or let's say Nananadana Krishna, which is original form of Krishna in Vrindavan. And then there's another Krishna in Mathura, which is called Vasudev Krishna. And then there is the Dwarkadish Krishna in Dwarka, who got married to 16,108 wives. So this may be a little bit of technical points to understand, but if one start developing the Bhakti Bhav, then this point can be understood, because when the demigods, when they pray to Krishna to come and make appearance, so the Lord came in his own original form, and then along with his form and also all his various expansions, many of his incarnations, they also appear with him. They appear with him, and they actually situate within the same body. So when Krishna took birth, he took birth in Vrindavan as the son of Mother Yashoda. But simultaneously, Krishna also appeared in Mathura, in the prison house of Kamsa. Now, the difference is that when Krishna appeared before Vasudeva and Devaki, he did not come out of the womb of Devaki. There was no, Mother Devaki did not give birth to Krishna. Krishna appeared in his four-arm form, as Vishnu form. Krishna appeared as Vishnu form with all the elements, with all the items, Sankha, Chakra, Pada, and Padma. The lotus, the chakra, the disc, the club, and concha. With those four elements, Vishnu very big. So he appeared within the prison house of Kamsa, of Vasudeva, where they are kept. And then, of course, then Devaki, she prayed to Krishna. Krishna said, my dear Lord, please change your form, because if I tell everyone that the Lord, that Vishnu has appeared as my son, everyone will laugh at me. So please change your form. So in answer to that prayer, so Krishna, who's in the Vishnu form, he changed himself into baby. He transformed himself to baby. And then the Vasudev, he carried this baby to Vrindavan. It was the middle of the night, midnight. So Vasudev carried baby Krishna across the Yamuna River there to Gokul, Vrindavan. And that time, Mother Yashoda actually giving birth to a twin, one boy and one girl. But she didn't know, actually. It was middle of the night. So the baby that the Vasudev brought from Mathura of Krishna, so that baby immediately merged into original form of Krishna that has taken birth to Mother Yashoda. And then the Vasudev took the baby girl, took her to Mathura. So I'm just trying to touch a little bit about the fact that, yes, Krishna is always in Vrindavan. So this is the thing, that the appearance of Krishna in Vrindavan is the most sublime appearance, the most sublime. Vrindavan, even though Vrindavan is, let's say, it's not a city, it's a village, and externally there is no so much this. It's a forest. It's basically forest dwelling. No opulence there. There is no, externally the inhabitants are very, very simple. They are mainly the cow herders. They herd the cows. That's why they are called gopas. Gopas and gopis. Gopis, they take care of the milk and the churn butter and yogurts and all that. So it's like it's not a land of opulence. That is from the external point of view, because when there was a conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Saru Damodara, and also Srivas Thakur. There was a conversation whereby Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he very much wanted to hear about the activities of Vrindavan, and he was asking Saru Damodara to describe the sweet pastime, because after all, the British, they've come to Kurukshetra, and they are now pulling Krishna from Kurukshetra. They are pulling him to come to Vrindavan. Say, come to Vrindavan, come with us back to Vrindavan. This is where we can actually have our sweet relationship with you. Come with us back to Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Prabhu was very, very much interested to hear what is so unique about Vrindavan. What is the uniqueness of Vrindavan? 2 days ago, I gave this class in Bombay Temple. This is discussion of Erapanchami. I think I posted that video on the forum. This is how the Chaitanya Prabhu was very, very much interested in hearing what is so unique about Vrindavan. So, Saru Damodara, he was describing how the Lord, the devotees, how there's so much attraction between the Lord and between Krishna and the devotees there. And so as Saru Damodara was talking, so Srivas Thakur said that, look, Jai Vrindavan, there is nothing there. It's just a place of flowers, or it's a forest, what is there? But look at my Devi, my goddess, Sri Lasmiji, always adorning herself with gold. And there's no such a thing as gold in Vrindavan, but she's always adorning herself with gold and so much opulence. She came from an opulent atmosphere. So how can you really be comparing Vrindavan to Vaikuntha atmosphere? So when my Prabhu heard this, my Prabhu smiled. He said, oh, my dear Srivas, the influence of Nada Muni is on you. You know, because Nada Muni, actually Srivas was an incarnation of Nada Muni. So which means those devotees, for example, let's say devotees of Dwaka or Vaikuntha, they cannot see the uniqueness of Vrindavan atmosphere. Actually, Vrindavan is, everything is actually there in Vrindavan. Everything is there, but it's covered with sweetness. It's called Madhurya. So in the Brahma Samhita, there is a verse by Lord Brahma, whereby he says, Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusa Kapatarabo Drumabu Mechin Tamayi Ganamayi Toya Mamitan Katan Katanata Gamanamapi Bansipuyasaki Chidananda Jyoti Paramapita Dasa Tamapicha. It's an 8-line verse. I just recited on the 4th line. So in this sloka, which is recited by Lord Brahma, it's describing Vrindavan. He said Vrindavan is a place that is always full of Lakshmis. Sriya means the Lakshmis. It means just, there's only one Lakshmi in Vaikuntha. But in Vrindavan, there are millions and millions and millions of Lakshmis. So you can just imagine the opulence that is in Vrindavan. And that the ground of Vrindavan is not ordinary ground. All the ground is made up of gems, diamonds, the ground of Vrindavan. At Vrindavan, there are desire trees. So that whatever you want, just ask. Any tree that you can ask them for, you want some sweet rice will come. You want pakora will come. You want gold, anything you want, you can. This is called desire trees. That is Vrindavan. At Vrindavan, when people talk, when they talk, their talk is like singing. It's like singing. And when the resident, when they walk, walking around, strolling, it's like dancing. So which means it's not just ordinary talking. Then the talking is like dancing, you know, and it's like singing when people are talking. When they are walking, it's like dancing. So Srila Jiva Goswami was expressing in his Gopal Champu that if in Vrindavan, if ordinary talking is just like singing, so how much more when people actually have to sing, how much more wonderful will it be? And it's by walking, it's like dancing. So how much more will it be if they actually have to dance? So which means within Vrindavan, everything is there, but no one is let's say, is influenced by such opulence of Vrindavan, because within Vrindavan, opulence of Vaikuntha is there, but devotees are not concerned with that. Their concern is there's this sweet prem, sweet love that is there between Krishna and his devotees. And in Vrindavan, there is no conception of Krishna being God in Vrindavan. That conception is not there. So when Uddhava came to Vrindavan, so Uddhava come to Vrindavan, and because Krishna sent him, that you go to Vrindavan and give them a consolation. Give them consolation because my dear devotees of Vrindavan, they've been feeling so much separation from me. So go there and give them the consolation. So Uddhava came to Vrindavan, and I was telling everyone that, oh, Krishna is God. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. So there's no need to be lamenting for him. Krishna is in your heart, is a Parameshwara, is a Paramatma. So Krishna, so Uddhava was a great DNA because Uddhava happened to be a disciple of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the guru of the demigods. So Uddhava has a big knowledge, big knowledge that he has. But so when Uddhava was in Vrindavan, he was preaching to the Brijavasis that yes, Krishna is God. Krishna is the supreme personality of God, that the whole world, it's not just for Vrindavan, the whole world worship him. And especially he was saying this in front of Nanda Maharaj. So as Uddhava was talking, so Nanda Maharaj cut him short. He said, Uddhava, you are just a child. You have no intelligence. What are you saying? You're telling me that Krishna is God, is Bhagavan? You're telling me that? No, Krishna is not God. Krishna is my son. I know it. Krishna is my son. Krishna sat on my lap all the time. Krishna is my son. And sometimes Krishna will be afraid of something, and I will run to the house and sit on my lap. So how can you tell me that that Krishna is, that your Krishna is God? And another Maharaj will be discussing so many pastimes of the Lila Krishna, how sometimes Krishna will steal butter, so many things like that. And then as he will be discussing Krishna Lila, he will be so much overcome by praying, by bhav, that so much tears will just be rolling, coming out of his eye. He'll be drenching his body, will just be coming as he's narrating the pastimes of Krishna. So this Vrindavan, where Krishna feels very much at home, is always home in Vrindavan. So in Kurukshetra, the inhabitant, they wanted to bring Krishna to Vrindavan. So that is actually Rath Yatra, bringing Krishna to Vrindavan. And that is vision, that is the mood of the devotees. It's not that the devotees are going to the Rath Yatra to ask for the blessing. Normally, normal people, that's what they do. Actually, just like here in India, people travel from all over India. They go to Jagannath Puri on the Rath Yatra day. I mean, there are millions of people there, millions and millions of people there on the Rath Yatra day. But everybody basically going there for blessing, because by going to Jagannath Puri on the Rath Yatra day, there's no more birth in the material world. Once materialistic existence is finished, no more birth in the material world. And so everyone goes, but devotees don't do that. Devotee, their mode is not to go and pray to get blessing so that their material existence can finish. Actually, devotees, they're not looking to get out of the material world. They're not looking to get free, to get liberation. That's not what they are looking for. What they are looking for is love of Krishna. They are looking for the love of Krishna. That's what they are looking for. I mean, just say Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his prayer, he wrote that if I have to come back and take birth in this world, I want to take birth. I don't mind, even if I have to take birth as a worm, as long as it's in the family of a Vaishnava. As long as it is in the house of a Vaishnava, I don't care if I have to take birth as a worm. So just imagine, great Vaishnava, a liberated person who has come here to give us, to give us association, so that we can be benefited and get out of this material world. So he is praying that, oh, my dear Lord, if I have to take, I will not mind to take birth as a worm in the stool of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava, pure devotee of the Lord. So devotees, they're not going to they're not going there pulling the cart just so they can be liberated. They are pulling the cart because their desire is to take Krishna back to his home in Vrindavan. So therefore, they are pulling the cart. And devotees are full of ecstasy when they are pulling the cart. full of ecstasies that devotees are. So now, what is this form of Jagannath? How can now these three forms, Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, this Jagannath form, it's actually uncompleted Murti, deity, whereby you have the big eye, the strengthening hand, the arms, and the leg is basically, you cannot see the leg. So it's actually uncompleted form of the Lord. I already spoke about this carving in my last week talk, this carving of Jagannath's form. But this carving, supposedly by Vishwakarma, by which he was carving for 30 days, and then when Indradumna Maharaj, when he stopped hearing the noise, the sound, he decided to check what's going on in the room, and then Vishwakarma came out. I said, well, I already told you not to see what is going on, so therefore I am leaving. And then Vishwakarma disappeared. But this Daruprama, this wooden, which contained the uncompleted form of three deities. So in the Indradumna Maharaj, King Indradumna, he said, okay, I'm going to worship this form anyway. And then there was a Shna Yatras, and after that there was the Rath Yatra. But that's just external reason. That's not the main purpose of the manifestation of this Jagannath form. That's not the main purpose, the main reason why this form is manifested that way. Now, we can get into this main reason if you look deeper into the writings of our acharyas. Srila Sanatana Goswami, he had written this marvelous scripture called the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I hope some of you listening, I hope you have seen the book or read it. It's called Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And this great scripture, is divided into two parts. One part is where Narada Muni is traveling from place to place, trying to find out which devotee has received the mercy of the Lord. This is the first part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And then the second part is about a devotee who have developed detachment from this material world and is traveling for perfection, all the way from material world to the heavenly planet, to Brahmaji's planet, all the way to the Vaikuntha and to Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the travel of a devotee, just as a Pilgrim's Progress. There's a book called Pilgrim's Progress. So this is the second part of this book. Actually, every devotee should read this book. That way, how to be a devotee, this science, there are two books which are very highly recommended. One is Java Dharma or Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the second one is Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Sanatana Goswami, because these two scriptures, they contain the science of bhakti. Science of bhakti. Of course, they are based on Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, of course. That's we have to know that. So, Srila Sanatana Goswami had written in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita first canto, in the 7th chapter. So in this 7th chapter, Narada Muni, he had, in the course of traveling, when we met a particular devotee, and then when he will observe how that devotee is so much absorbed in Krishna Bhakti. All the activities is full of devotion. And then Narada Muni will be praising this devotee that, oh, you are so fortunate. You have received the Lord's mercy. You have received the Lord's mercy, and that's why you are so much devoted to the service of the Lord. And then as the devotee is being praised, this devotee will say, oh, no, I'm not a great devotee. I have so many faults. I'm not a great devotee. If you really want to know a great devotee, you go and see this person. You go there, you see how great this person is. So Narada Muni started from Haridwar, and then from there he went to the palace of the king, and then from the king, then he went to the palace of Indra, and then from Indra he went to Lord Brahma, from Lord Brahma he went to Lord Shiva, from Lord Shiva he went to Prahlad, from Prahlad he went to Hanuma, from there he was, he was going from there. So that is, okay, it's good that you put it there. And then, Narada Muni, then he went to the palace of the Pandavas. So he went to the palace of the Pandavas, and the, Pandavas are great devotee of the Lord, great devotee, very, very dear devotee of the Lord, the Pandavas. And then when he reached the palace of Pandavas, he was praising them. He was praising all the Pandavas, that how the Pandavas, how they are so great, how they are so great, that the Lord himself, he feel himself complete when he's with the Pandavas. The Lord said, those who are the enemy of the Pandavas, they are my enemy. The Lord says so. So the Pandavas are very, very dear to the Lord. And then so Narada Muni went there, immediately was president, was full of praise, and Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjun, Bhima, Nakula and Sahadev, then the Draupadi, Mother Kunti. So he was praising the Pandavas that, oh, you are the greatest devotee of the Lord. Clear. Great devotee. So he was praising them that, oh, you have received the Lord's mercy. But, and then the Pandavas, they started protesting. Said, no, we are not the Lord's. How can you say that we are the one who have received the Lord's mercy? Just see, the Lord, he had given us a kingdom now he abandoned us. He gave us a kingdom, and then he abandoned us. So what kind of mercy is this? What kind of mercy is that? How can you say that we have received the Lord's mercy? Our enemies are defeated. We have this great kingdom. And then he left, he's back, he went back to Dwarka. So we must not have been so dear to him that he just abandoned us. Otherwise, he will have stayed with us. So we cannot call us. You cannot say that we are the dear devotee. But if you really want to know the last dear devotee, you go and see the resident of Dwarka. You will see yourself how great these devotees are. They are so dear to him that the Lord is living with them. The Lord is living with them because they're able to render personal service unto him. So the Pandavas, they are describing all the wonderful qualities of the inhabitants of Dwarka. And then, so Narada Muni was so happy, dancing with his veena, singing, he was singing just like, compositions in Narada Muni, so he was singing so many beautiful songs. So he went to Dwarka. And then when he went to Dwarka, he was immediately praising all the Dwarka Vasis. The residents of Dwarka was praising them that, oh, all you great devotees, you are great devotees, you have received the mercy of Lord Krishna. All of you so great. And of course, Narada Muni is a great sage. So everyone, when they saw him, they were offering him respect, giving him asan to sit on, a throne to sit on. But Narada Muni said, no, I'm not going to sit on the throne because all of you are worthy of my worship. You're worthy of my worship because Supreme Lord Krishna is so dear to you. You're worthy of my worship. And then the resident headed by Maharaj Ugrasen saying that actually Uddhava is the most dear to the Lord. He's so dear to the Lord because Uddhava is always where Lord Krishna is. You want to see Uddhava, is there, Lord Krishna, and it's everything to Lord Krishna. He's the Lord's servant, he's the Lord's friend, he's the Lord's minister. It's anything that anyone can be in this. So Uddhava is that thing. As a matter of fact, even Lord Krishna himself declared, he said, my dear Uddhava, no one is more dear to me than you. He said, not even my wife, Lakshmi Devi, not even my brother, Balaram, even not even myself, to myself, is as dear to me as you, oh my dear Uddhava. And Uddhava is attained such a perfection that Uddhava, he looks exactly just like Lord Krishna. Exactly just like Lord Krishna. Just like when Uddhava was sent to Vrindavan to go and give consolation to the gopis, to the Brijabasis. So when the residents, when they saw Uddhava coming, they thought that Krishna has not come back to Vrindavan because Uddhava looked just like Krishna. Exactly just like Krishna. So they thought that Krishna had come to Vrindavan. And then, of course, as he came closer, they realized, oh, this is not Uddhava. I'm sorry, this is not Krishna. So the Maharaj Ugrasen and all the other residents, so they were praising Uddhava. And then they told Madhavuni that well, Uddhava is currently in the palace of the Lord. He's currently attending to the Lord. So Nadamuni went inside. And then when he saw Uddhava, he started to praise him, but Uddhava immediately just said, oh, don't say anything, because right now, our Lord is inside the room, unconscious. Lord Krishna is unconscious inside the room. It's a great calamity. Krishna is unconscious inside the room. So, when Nadamuni, he saw all Krishna's coin, all the Krishna's coin, Satyabhama, Rukmini, Jambavati, so many of them, Nagmiti, all the Krishna's coin. At first, Nadamuni was full of praise for them, that, oh, my dear coin of Krishna, you all are very, very, your glory is unlimited. Your glory is unlimited because you are the dear wives of Krishna, and you render direct service unto him. Your fortune is unlimited. So the wife of Krishna, they started saying that, oh, dear Nadamuni, listen to one thing, hear one thing. We are not at all dear to Krishna. Even though we possess what no woman in the entire world possess. We possess no woman in this entire world possess. The extreme beauty, the way we dress ourselves, everything. We possess all these things. Still, none of this is able to attract the mind of Krishna. In the nighttime, when Krishna sleeping on our side, but we'll always be calling, Radhe, 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 Gopi, 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 Gopi. Vrindavan, he was always be calling the inhabitants of Vrindavan. We are not ordinary women. We are not ordinary women. But somehow, we are not, Krishna is not attracted to us. He was always absorbed. He was always absorbed in feeling separation of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Was absorbed feeling separation. So now this particular situation now. So now one time the wife of Krishna, they wanted to find out what is the uniqueness of the gopis of Vrindavan. What is the uniqueness? Why Krishna is always so much absorbed in them? Why Krishna is always feeling separation from them, calling on them, and will not pay any attention to us? Why is this? So the wife of Krishna, they approached Mother Rohini, because Mother Rohini, she was in Vrindavan with Krishna. Because Mother Rohini, who was the second wife of Vasudeva, when Kamsa was committing his atrocity, that time Vasudeva had sent Rohini to go and stay with Nanda Maharaj. It's because Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj are friends. So they go and stay with Nanda Maharaj. So Mother Rohini, so she was there in Vrindavan, and she saw all the pastime of Krishna, right from childhood till the Krishna left Vrindavan. So she saw all the pastimes. And then she was narrating how, first of all, before she started narrating, she told the gopi, she told the wife of Krishna that, look, I will tell you about this secret of Vrindavan, but I don't want Krishna or Balaram to hear this, because if they hear it, they will. I don't want them to hear this. So we should have a secret arrangement whereby I can give this narration, and so that the Krishna Balaram should not hear this narration of Vijayavasi. So they went into a hall, and then Subhadra Devi was selected to guard the entrance, so that Krishna Balaram will not come inside. So Subhadra Devi was selected to guard the entrance. So Subhadra Devi said, yes, I'm going to guard the entrance. I'm going to make sure that Krishna Balaram do not enter the room to hear what's going on. So and then Mother Rohini started narrating the Vrindavan pastimes, and especially Krishna's baby pastimes, childhood pastimes of stealing the yogurt. So many beautiful, very beautiful pastimes, which is called, in Sanskrit, we call it manohara. Manohara means a very soothing to the mind. When you hear this pastime, you just become totally out of this material world, totally out of this world when you hear this Lila. So she was describing one Lila after the other. Krishna's killing the demons, and so many things. Krishna playing his flute, and so all the cows, how Krishna would take the cows to the forest. We take the cow to the forest, and just by the vibration of his flute, all the cows, they will all come running to Krishna. So as Mother Rohini was describing this, all of a sudden, Subhadra Devi, she became immobile. She became numb. She became filled with bhav, with emotions, so much so that her body transformed. Her body transformed. She became so much filled with emotion. Now, somehow, Krishna Balaram, she heard there's a commotion going on, there's a talk going on. So she wanted to see what's going on, because this intense discussion was going on. So he went to this hall where this narration was going on of the Vrindavan pastime was going on. And as he entered the hallway, seeing his mother describing, so he became very much absorbed in narration. And then he lost his own composure. He became very much filled with bhav, with emotions, that his body also became transformed. His body became transformed, and big eyes and strength arm, everything become just like tortoise, immobile. And then somehow Krishna heard this, and then Krishna came, and his body also became very much transformed. So therefore, you have these three forms: Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. So Narada Muni, somehow he saw this. So when he saw this, that became a capture. It became like a camera on his eye. He said, now I've got this special form of Krishna, Baladev, and Subhadra. I got this in my mind. So that's the manifestation of how this form came about. Now, of course, now there are much more descriptions of this. Now, because the time is not so much there to discuss. So when Narada Muni entered, and the gopis and the queens, they were telling Narada Muni, now that Krishna is unconscious now, he has become unconscious because of his due to his feelings of separation of the gopis of Vrindavan. All night long, he was simply crying and telling, oh my, Radhe, Radhe, Gopi, Gopi. He was simply lamenting all night long. Now he has fallen unconscious. What to do? What to do? So when everybody, they all went to the room and they entered Krishna's room, they saw that Krishna was simply lying on the bed, totally unconscious. So everyone started crying. All the wives started crying. Everyone at a loss what to do. And when then Lord Balaram also came into the room, he saw Krishna's condition. And he also started crying that, oh, how come my brother has become like this? So Narada Muni is trying to find the solution to this. He's trying to find what to do, how to revive Krishna. So then he called Lord Brahma.
Hare Krishna, Ishara Prabhu, please.
Yeah.
Excuse me for the interruption. I had sent you a text message, a private message. To be
the timing.
To be mindful of the time. So of course it's up to you. If you just want to share with us the beautiful pastimes of Lord Jagannath, and then we say goodbye without asking any questions, or if you want the devotees to ask questions, then you probably might have to consider.
So, okay, I will talk now for about 10 to 15 more minutes, and then you can ask questions. I will speak more for about 10 to 15 minutes. Of course, this normally, I mean, there's one devotee now in Johuna, Numbana, who is actually for a whole week, he described me like Jagannath's Lila for a whole week. The whole week, many of us have been talking about Lord Jagannath. There's unlimited talks, but I'm talking about the background. So many discussions are there. Because this form of the Lord is a very, very special form of the Lord, this the Jagannath. And Jagannath form, it's called Viraha Vigraha. Viraha means the separation. So this is a form of separation of Lord Krishna is Jagannath. And who is Krishna feeling separated from? He's feeling separation from Srimati Radharani. So that's the manifestation of this form. Now, of course, it's kind of a little bit of what I was getting to is a little bit of the stuff when you get it. So the Narada Muni called Lord Brahma and asked him what to do, how to revive Lord Krishna, how to revive him. So Lord Brahma came, and Lord Brahma said, okay, I know what to do. What we can do, we can create a replica of Vrindavan here in Dwarka. We can create a replica of Vrindavan and tell Krishna that now this is Vrindavan, and then Krishna will be awake. So Lord Brahma, he called upon Vishwakarma. So Vishwakarma came, and then he created another Vrindavan. He created what we call Nava Vrindavan, or we call it New Vrindavan. Nava means new. So he created a new Vrindavan as a replica of the original Vrindavan. And then he made a mold of all the residents, the Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, all the gopis, the cows, this exact situation, exact atmosphere of Vrindavan. So he created it. Right in Dwarka. So after this creation, then Narada Muni Then he went to Lord Krishna and he started singing. That no, oh my dear Lord, wake up, wake up. We are in Vrindavan. Wake up, we are in Vrindavan. So as Krishna, I saw Krishna said, oh, we are in Vrindavan. So he got up. He got up and then he ran outside. He ran outside. And as he ran outside, actually, Nadamani told Daruka, who was Lord Krishna chariot, he said that, get the chariot ready, get the chariot ready. So when Lord Krishna came out of the palace, came out, he thought himself that he's in Vrindavan. And as he was going, then he saw Nanda Maharaj and Basudha Maya. He said, oh, my dear mother and father, you know, I just had a very bad dream. And in that bad dream, I saw myself that I have become a king. And I have so many wives. I have so many children. You know, this is a bad dream. This is a dream I just had. And then, of course, he was talking to a form. He was talking to a form of Nanda Maharaj and the Shodamaya. And he saw that they are not saying anything. They are not replying to him. They are just simply looking at him. So Krishna is talking. He said, okay, my dear mother and father, you know, I have to go now to the forest. And he was going, then he saw his friends, Sudam, Madhumanga, you know, Stoka Krishna, Arjun. So he saw all his friends. And he was telling them, oh, my dear friend, let us go to the forest. Let's go and have the cows, you know, and all that. So Krishna was so exciting. You know, let's go to the bank of Yamuna. But nobody was replying because these are just farms. And then he saw the gopis. Oh, it's nice. Oh, my dear gopi friend, I promise you tonight, we are going to dance. We are going to perform our Raslila tonight. I promise tonight. So Krishna assumed, he thought himself to be in Vrindavan, even though he was in Dwarka. So but this creation was done. And then, so eventually, after some time, Krishna was made to realize that he actually was in Vrindavan. So it's a very nice, very long narration, which was described in the Briya Bhagavatamrita. And so there are different narrations of this Lila, of how this Jagannath theater comes about, how the Rath was there, whereby Krishna has been taken to Vrindavan, and the first, there is Balaram first, Balaram goes first, then followed by Subhadra, Mai, and followed by Krishna himself. Now, this has many, of course, because there are three chariots. One is Balaram, one is Subhadra, and one is Jagannath. Three chariots there goes. Many reasons for that. Many spiritual reasons. First, how do we know God? It's through the Guru. We know God through the Guru only. So, who's the Guru? The Guru Tattva is Balaram. Lord Balaram is the Guru Tattva. So therefore, he shows us the path to God. He shows the path to God. So that's Lord Balaram. The path to Krishna. And then to enter the Bhakti, we need the mercy of Bhakti Devi. So Subhadra, she's Bhakti Devi. She engages in Bhakti. She represents the Bhakti Devi in order to develop Bhakti onto Krishna. So that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So I only spoke very just briefly. This is a summarization. Whatever I'm talking about is all a summarization. We can actually go into much more intense discuss into this. And of course, I was very fortunate that I was in the association of Srila Govinda Maharaj, who is actually originally from Odisha himself, who will spend hours and hours and hours and days describing the Jagannath Lila, Jagannath Katha. So I have this book called Shikshetra. We have it online. Some of you can get that book, or if you come to India, you can get the book. I just Shiva's Prabhu must have got the book. It's called Shikshetra Vaikuntha on Earth. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to stop here. So you can ask questions, or if some of the great Vaishnavas just want to say something, you can say it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Shimavara Prabhu, please unmute.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. All glories
Dhanyavad.
to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the wonderful narration, and my obeisance to everybody on the forum. It's interesting to know that, Krishna has different aspects, and his aspect in Dwarka and then Mathura and Vrindavan is all different. Okay, so admitted that Krishna, or we also learned that Krishna never left Vrindavan. Krishna is always in Vrindavan. Okay, so my question is, if Krishna is always in Vrindavan, why is he feeling separation when he's in Dwarka? Why is he saying, or rather, why is with his queens? After all, that aspect of Krishna, the Vasudeva Krishna, I guess, never left Vrindavan. So if he's never leaves Vrindavan, he's supposed to be there relishing with them. So why is this the aspect which is supposed to be different, is lamenting for the pastime, which the other aspect is supposed to be enjoying? I mean, can you clarify this?
Yes. Very good question, very enlightening question, as a matter of fact. How can we say Krishna never lived in Vrindavan, but is there in Dwarka lamenting for the gopis of Vrindavan, the Bijabasi? So how can we reconcile this? Yes, the first, when I began the class, the first sloka which I read, and it's Srila Prabhupada's purport, whereby Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the feelings of separation, which seems to be much higher than the union of Krishna. The core of bhakti is this intense feeling of separation from Krishna. When my Prabhu said that Yugaita Nimisena Krishna Prabhu Saitan, Sunyaitan Jagat Sama Govinda Virahena, my dear Lord, feeling separation from you, I feel a moment to be like 12 years or more. So there is much more deeper love that comes when this separation comes about. Even though devotees are always with Krishna, they never leave Krishna. Krishna never lived there, but still, they still feel separation. For example, one time, Srimati Radharani, she was sitting on Krishna's lap, and as she was sitting on Krishna's lap, there was a bee that was, landing on her toe. So the bee was landing on her toe, and then Srimati Radharani told Krishna, "Oh Krishna, chase away this bee, chase away this bee, chase away this bee." And then so Madhumanga come, who is one of the Kahar boys. So Madhumanga came and chased away the bee. And then he said, "Oh, now Madhu," he said, "Oh, Madhu has gone, Madhu has gone." Madhu means bee. But when she heard the word Madhu has gone, she thought it's Madhusudana has gone. Because Krishna is the killer of the Madhu demon. So, "Oh, Madhusudana has gone, Madhusudana has gone." So, and then when she heard that Madhusudana has gone, Madhu has gone, she thought this to be Madhusudan. And then she started lamenting for Krishna. "Oh, Krishna, where are you? Where are you?" Started lamenting. "Where are you?" Even though she was sitting on Krishna's lap, but she's still feeling separation. All the gopis chastising Lord Brahma that, "Oh, Brahmaji, you are such an imperfect, you are such a useless creator. Because you have created this eye, and this eye contains eyelids, and this eyelid is always blinking, and this blinking of the eye prevents us from seeing Krishna constantly. So therefore, what an imperfect creator you are." So therefore, they are chasing Lord Brahma this way. Because they feel even a moment, just not even a moment of eye blinking, they consider it to be too much, that they are unable to continuously sing the beauty of Krishna, always. So That is the extent of the separation. That even though, yes, actually there's a book by Srila Rupa Goswami called Uddhava Sandesh. And in this book, Srila Rupa Goswami did explain that why Akrura was taking Krishna out of Vrindavan, but somehow Krishna made himself all manifest before the Vajra's eye. So, but in reality, he never really lived. He never lived in Vrindavan. He's always there in Vrindavan. But it made them an assumption and assume that yes, he has left Vrindavan. He has not gone to Mathura. This is just to increase the hankering, because after all, every night there's a Nitya Lila. Every day there's a Nitya Lila, and there's eternal Krishna pastime. This is called Nitya Lila. For example, there is what we call Astaka Lila. Astaka Lila means the eightfold daily pastimes of Lord Krishna. Eightfold daily pastimes. Then this goes on eternally. So this is just the intensity of love that sometimes both the lover and the beloved, they feel themselves separated from each other. This is just the intensity of love. And this intensity of love cannot be understood by material logic. It can't be understood by material logic. That's why in Vrindavan, Gyan does not work here in Vrindavan. Knowledge doesn't work. There's a place called Gyan Gudri. Gyan Gudri is a place whereby knowledge becomes defeated. So here in Vrindavan, knowledge is defeated. Knowledge is defeated. So we cannot use all kind of logic that, oh, this, no. Because the more we try to use logic, the more confused we become. So therefore, devotees, they actually abandon their logical understanding, everything, they abandon it when it comes to Braja Bhakti. So therefore, that this form of Jagannath is a feeling of separation that the Lord has towards his own devotee. When Prabhu was performing his pastime in Jagannath Puri, so many times he became, just like his body changes many times. His body changes. His body, when he's feeling so much separation from Krishna, being the mode of Radharani, his body will change. Sometimes it become the limb will enter the body and will just be like tortoise. Or sometimes his bodily limbs will become elongated. The joints will become loose. And when the devotees see this form of Mahaprabhu, they'll be full of sorrow that, oh, how's Mahaprabhu is this way? Because Mahaprabhu simply be chanting, oh Krishna, hey Krishna, hey Krishna. Like that, So the science of flow is an extremely deep science. The more we ourselves we enter into it, the more we can have some little bit of understanding. How we can do this only if we try to follow the footsteps of other devotees. So in one sense, there's no logical explanation of how come Krishna is feeling separation outside of Vrindavan when he never lived Vrindavan. There's no logical explanation to that except what I've just explained. That one. I hope this okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, I just see one question here. Petravinda, that's it.
Yeah.
So there's a question on the chat. Is that why Lord Jagannath's eyes are so wide and never close or blink? You only want to see Lord Chaitanya forever, every second? It's not that Jagannath's eyes never close. This wide eye, this eye that's wide, this is a moment that was seen by Narada Muni. And Narada Muni wants to capture this moment forever. Because when you see this side, Krishna has become this way. So he wants to capture this moment forever, just like that. And of course, and Jagannath is Krishna in this Lila. Jagannath is Krishna, and Chaitanya Prabhu is Shrimati Radharani. So Chaitanya Prabhu in front of Jagannath is like Radharani in front of Krishna, whereby they are both very, very, attracted to one another. When Rath Yatra was going on, the Krishna became stationary. Jagannath became stationary. He doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to go. He just becomes stationary. And so much effort was made to pull the cart, but the cart will not move. The cart will not move. Even the king in Padudara, he went to get all the big wrestlers to come and pull the cart. The cart will not move. The elephants were brought. So many elephants were brought. An elephant, they tried so much so that he started crying. The elephant will not move. So everyone became very perplexed that the Lord has refused to move. What to do? I told Chaitanya Prabhu, okay, so he told everybody to clear away. He told everybody to clear away. And he simply went to the back of the cart and he touched his head on the rat. And then immediately the rat started moving. Effortlessly started moving. So because Jagannath himself became so much captivated with Krishna, it becomes so much captivated by Radharani. So it became stationary. So these are different manifestations of Jagannath. Okay, is Harichakra?
Harichakra, Prabhu, unmute. Haribol. Harichakra,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you for your narration. Yeah, very enjoyable. But my question is a follow-up to Varaha Prabhu's question. That is it the acharyas who stated is it stated anywhere by the acharyas that we cannot this situation of Krishna, even though we say Krishna doesn't leave Vrindavan, but is this Vrindavan Krishna who is actually having this intimate relationship with the gopis, and yet the Krishna in Mathura or Dwaraka trying to exhibit this feeling of separation, right? This intimate feeling of separation. Is it the acharyas who are saying that this cannot be understood by any logic, or we just assume that this thing is so intimate that we cannot understand it? Because other than that, because I'm getting a little bit confused, because my confusion is like, it's the same thing comes to mind about saying that Krishna, Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. I've heard people say it over and over again, and I've been trying my best to read it to find out where is it stated that Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. I went
That's
to the
in the
Krishna
Bible
book.
text.
I read. Yeah, I read it. I heard the. So which part of Bhagavatam? Because you yourself gave a quotation in Bhagavatam the last one time. I went there to read it, and it was not stated that Mother Yashoda. I did not see anywhere that it was stated that Mother Yashoda gave birth to a twin. So I wanted to find out that is it also part of the issue of we not being able to understand by any form of logic, or is categorically stated by Srila Prabhupada or the acharyas that Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins, and also by stated by Prabhupada or any of the acharyas that the Krishna in Dwaraka is feeling this separation because he's in the mood of the Krishna in Vrindavan. I mean, am I making sense?
No, it's
like
okay.
I'm fumbling a little bit. Am I making sense?
Well, actually, you're making sense. And
Okay.
everyone will have the same natural reaction. So there are many esoteric books written by our acharyas, whereby all these points are explained. And of course, over time, we will come to have the understanding. In the many books, especially Gopal Champu of Srila Jiva Goswami, and also there are many commentaries on the Bhagavatam. Actually, Bhagavatam contains several commentaries, at least 12 minimum that I know of. Maybe at least 15 commentaries of the Bhagavatam. And many of them dwell more on the esoteric aspect of Krishna's dealing with this loving devotees. Many of those Bhagavatam, especially the commentaries by Vallabhacharya, some commentaries by Jiva Goswami, and also Sanatana Goswami also. So many of them contain different commentaries, and they will give different revelations that way. Actually, in Prabhupada's Bhagavatam also, in 10th canto also, Srila Prabhupada also wrote about that also, that actually Vrindavan Krishna is originally born to Krishna. Mathura Krishna came and merged into the Vrindavan Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada also talk about that. I think in the chapter 3 or 4 of the 10th canto Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada wrote, they mentioned that actually when we say Devaki Nandana, we actually refer to Yashoda Mayi only, because Mother Yashoda, she has 2 names. You know, he said Dwe Name Yashoda Devaki Acha. That Krishna, Mother Yashoda has 2 names. One is Yashoda, and one is Devaki. So this is and Prabhupada was quoting from the revealed scriptures. So and also one thing we have to know is that when Srila Prabhupada was commenting on 10th canto, he stopped at the end of chapter 13. So Srila Prabhupada did not finish the commentary on the Bhagavatam. He did not finish it. Of course, the disciple they made some translation, but that translation is just like just a brief, very brief. They could not touch on those intense commentaries, especially when I'm talking of 10th canto. They could not touch in those commentaries because they are so deep, like anything. So they couldn't touch them. So Srila Prabhupada did not. Srila Prabhupada gave us Krishna book, though, but Krishna book is a summary of 10th canto, a summary. So which means we really have to enter into study of the commentaries of the acharyas. Now, we have been doing some translations of those commentaries. I've published about up to chapter 33 of the 10th canto, which has like 12 commentaries of various acharyas. So again, as I said, that it requires us, it requires the devotional maturity. It requires a devotional maturity in order to start understanding some of these fine points. Just like, when you're in the secondary school, you're not able to know what subject someone in the universities, in the undergraduate, what they are studying. And somebody in the undergraduate may not be able to know what somebody in the PhD is studying. So, practice like that. We have our main book, Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam, but we also have Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we have the writings of the Goswami. Actually, Chaitanya Charitamrita is actually a compilation of the Goswami's writings, especially Srila Rupa and Srila Jiva Goswami. It's a condensation, of their writing. So therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita is considered to be the postgraduate study, of Krishna consciousness. So again, as we are going, we should not be having challenging mood, because if we have challenging mood, then this point will be difficult for us to understand. We should not be having challenging moods. We should just understand that yes, there's a much more to be understood. There's a much more we don't understand. But as time comes, as we execute our bhakti, this understanding will come. This understanding will come as we execute our bhakti, and we keep our mind much more open. We keep our mind much more open. then this understanding, it comes to us in due course of time. That's basically what we have to say for that. So any other question? Oh, you still have more questions?
Yeah, I think I'm not clear with some, because like this issue about Mother Yashoda giving birth to twins.
Prabhu.
Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, excuse me. Yeah, I can hear you, but hold on for a second, please.
Okay.
Because your question about Mother Yashoda giving birth to twins, and what's the name? Ishara Prabhu is talking about that. This is not the first time Ishara Prabhu has mentioned it. We've discussed this a couple times, and I'm going to share the verse for us. Sorry, what Srila Prabhupada says. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, chapter 3, text 47. So, thereafter, exactly when Vasudeva, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room, Yogamaya, the Lord's spiritual energy, took birth as the daughter of the wife of Maharaj Nanda. So when we read the paper, it's a very short paper. Srila Prabhupada is saying that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur discusses that Krishna appeared simultaneously as the son of Devaki and as the son of Yashoda, along with spiritual energy Yogamaya. As the son of Devaki, he first appeared as Vishnu. And because Vasudeva was not in the position of pure affection for Krishna, Vasudeva worshipped his son as Lord Vishnu. Yashoda, however, pleased her son Krishna without understanding his godhood. This is the difference between Krishna as the son of Yashoda and as the son of Devaki. This is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti on the authority of Hari Vamsha. So that is one verse explaining that there are two aspects of Krishna, even though it's the same Krishna. Now you may go ahead with your question.
So you want to ask, you read that passage?
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm saying is that there are certain things the scripture might say that I might not have a deeper understanding of it. But I'm talking about a basic thing like Mother Yashoda giving birth to twins. If it's direct in black and white, if Mother Yashoda gives birth to twins, and I go to that particular verse and I read it, I should be able to see that Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. I might not have a deeper understanding of it. That is fine. But what I'm saying is that I've been hearing this story, but there is nowhere that I have read so far that the Prabhupada has even made a reference to any of our child saying that Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. So I said the basic example I get is I was referred to the Canto 10 in Srimad Bhagavatam. I went there to read it, and it never said that Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. That is my question.
No,
I said,
first of all, have you read the entire 10 Canto Bhagavatam? You have to read your Bhagavatam, and then you have your 10 Canto you have to read, and also you have to read all the commentaries of the Acharya. There are commentaries. The main thing to understand Bhagavatam, we have to hear from the masters. You have to hear from them.
Yeah, Prabhu, I perfectly understand. I have to hear from the masters. But what I'm saying is that, like, when the Bhagavatam says that Vasudeva gave birth, Mother Devaki gave birth to Krishna, that Krishna appeared in 400 forms, and then Devaki begged Krishna to take a baby's form. This is black and white. I might not understand the whole procedure. And if like somebody who is elevated explains to me why Krishna might have done that, well, it might give me some idea. But what I'm saying is that if it's not written directly that Krishna had, Mother Yasoda gave birth to two twins,
But
then
it's just, Sade just read it to you now, what Prabhupada wrote. That
that Mother
simultaneously
Yasoda gave birth
to Krishna
gave birth to
simultaneously. And also a boy and a daughter simultaneously gave birth. So that's twins. It's the and that person that Sade just read to you. So just accept that.
No. I didn't hear.
Accept that. He read that passage.
What Sade just read. So I'm not trying to be like in a challenging mood. I just want to understand what is going on. And that is what I'm trying to ask this question. What Sade read what I heard Sade reading, or if Sade can read it again. What I have been reading is that Prabhupada was explaining that Krishna has two aspects of himself. That Vasudev, the Krishna Vasudev, because he was in a particular mood, he saw Krishna in a different way. And Mother Yasoda was also in a different mood, he saw Krishna in another way.
But if you heard hold on. If you heard the whole passage, it says simultaneously Krishna took birth before Vasudev, from Devaki, simultaneously also took birth from Mother Yashoda, who gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. It's just read in that passage that Sade just, and that is by Srila Prabhupada.
No, I didn't hear that. Sade,
well, Hare Krishna, Prabhupada, I think I can send you the text later on. But my little contribution to this is I think it's very important that we pay very close attention to how we say what we say, because we may not intend ill, but sometimes how it comes out may seem to be showing some sort of disrespect to other devotees. The reason I'm saying this is because, one, it's a fact that there are so much information for us to know about a particular subject matter in our philosophy or in our teachings. And the mere fact that somebody hasn't heard somebody speak it or somebody hasn't read it does not make one who has heard it or read it any better than the person who hasn't read it or heard it. Especially if the person is ready, the person who hasn't read or heard is ready to listen, to know. Because like Ishara Prabhu was saying, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is considered to be the postgraduate study of our teachings. In the mundane material education, one has to become a graduate before you can become a postgraduate. But that is not the case in our system. You know, you can be day one in devotional service and still become postgraduate if you want to. So my suggestion is whenever we're speaking, we should not try to speak to demean others because they haven't heard or read a particular subject matter. Hare Krishna.
Now let's hear other questions. Are you trying to chastise me? Is that what you're deciding?
No, I'm not chastising you. No, who am I to chastise you? But the reason I spoke the way I spoke is because I don't know you much, but I know you a little bit. That you don't intend ill, but the way especially this particular time, the way your words came out could be mistaken by others that, well, you are at a certain height in spirituality, so you understand and others do not understand. But I believe that that is not what you intend. It's just that you have heard or you have read and somebody hasn't heard or read. But all I'm trying to say is sometimes the way we speak may not come across the way we intended it to be. So if we can just be a little mindful of how we present what we say.
So, Arichak, Prabhu, you have more question? Is that understandable?
Well, I think that is the previous hand up. But I have a question. I have a question about what is the definition of God? Because you were saying, of course, not just you saying, it's in the scriptures, that the citizens of Braj do not consider Krishna as God. So what is the definition of God when these Brajabasis do not consider Krishna as God? And if they do not consider Krishna as God, who do they consider as God? Or they are atheistic? And if they're atheistic, how can they be such an elevated devotee? So I think that they are not atheistic, but who do they consider to be God, since they do not consider Krishna to be God?
Now, who's asking that question?
Me, I'm asking.
Oh, you, okay. So, because there are two aspects in the devotional service. One aspect is called Aishwarya, Aishwarya Bhav, Aishwarya Maya, and the other aspect is called Madhurya. Aishwarya means they consider the God opulence or the gods, the godhood of God. That's Aishwarya. Is six opulence, the most powerful, the most beautiful, the most wealthy, the most renowned, the most knowledgeable. Bhagavan. That's called Aishwarya Maya. And the other aspect is called Madhurya Bhav. This Madhurya entails only sweetness, whereby the godhood is not considered. What is considered is the relationship that is there. Just as I spoke earlier about you had the president who is the governor of the whole country. The president is well feared by the whole country. But when in his house, he's a different person. Even though he's still the president, but he doesn't feel himself as the president. No, even though the members of his household, they know that he's the president, but they don't consider him, they don't look at him as such. So this is the thing, this is the way of dealing of Braj, of Vrindavan, whereby the devotees, they see Krishna only as their best relatives, their most loving relatives. Their life depend on Krishna only. Their life surrender to Krishna, even though yes, the aspect of Krishna being God is there, but that is in the background. That is in the background. It's just like after Krishna swallowed the forest fire. So after he swallowed the forest fire, the Brajabasi, they are very, very curious about Krishna. They say, oh, who is this Krishna? He's so powerful, he's killing so many demons every day. He just swallowed the forest fire. What is this Krishna? So they were asking Nanda Maharaj to tell them something about Krishna. Tell us something about your child. And then Nanda Maharaj telling Brajabasi, the Kahan, said that, look, let me tell you one secret. My son, when my son was born, Gagamuni, he told me that, look, your son is as powerful as Narayan. Your son is as powerful as Narayan. So therefore, it's not like a big thing when Krishna is killing so many demons, he performing all this, chastising Indra, performing all these wonderful lilas. But so the Brajabasi, they see Krishna's, extraordinary activities that can only be performed by God only, but they don't consider as such. They only see Krishna as their most amazing personality. So the love is the underlying principle, the underlying criteria is the love that is there between Krishna and devoted Vrindavan. So therefore, in Vrindavan, there is no Godhead. Of course, God is there, but it's just on the background only. But it's not like the overall factor, or the overall factor is there, because Krishna himself does not want it. Krishna does not want himself to be seen as God in Vrindavan. He simply wants to relish this loving relationship with his devotees. For example, Krishna shows the universal form to Mother Yashoda. He saw universal Mother Yashoda when all the cowherd boys, when they complain to Mother Yashoda that Krishna has eaten dirt. So they complain to Mother Yashoda that Krishna has eaten dirt. And the Mother Yashoda said, "Oh, Krishna, you've eaten dirt? All your friends, they've come to complain that you have eaten dirt." So Krishna said, "Oh, my dear mother, this is just a conspiracy. They just conspiracy against me, you know. So therefore, they're telling you that I've eaten dirt. If you can just look at my mouth, you can see it for yourself." So Mother Yashoda said, "Okay, open your mouth, let me see." So Krishna opened his mouth, and the Mother Yashoda, look inside the mouth. What did she see? She saw all the universal forms. She saw the whole universe, the whole planet with all their system. She saw everything in the mouth of Krishna. She even see herself look into the mouth of Krishna. And then when she saw this, she became amazed. She said, "Oh, what am I seeing? What's happening? Am I being overcome by illusion? Am I being overcome by illusion? Where am I holding? Where am I calling my son?" But when that astral aspect was coming to her, Krishna did not want that. Krishna immediately covered it over. He said, "No, I don't want my mother to see me as God, to see me as Bhagavan." And then he removed the covering, he removed the universal form. And then Mother Yashoda started thinking, "Oh, maybe my son is been attacked by some ghosts. So therefore, let me call the Brahmanas so they can perform, they can chant some mantras just to protect my son." So Vrindavan is the relationship that matters, not the aspect of being with God. In the forest, when the gopis, when they were with Krishna in the forest, and the Krishna had disappeared in the middle of the night, he had disappeared, and then he was just playing anyway. He was just playing. So he disappeared among the gopis. So all the gopis, they were searching for Krishna, and as they were searching for Krishna, so Krishna wanted to test them. So Krishna transformed himself into Narayan form, big form. That's 400 from Narayan form. So as they were walking, so they saw Narayan. When they saw Narayan, it was actually Krishna himself. So when they saw Narayan, they were offering prayers. Say, "Oh, Namo Narayan, our obeisances unto you. Can you please show us where Krishna is? Otherwise, you can please go." So the gopis, they are not interested in being with Narayan or seeing Narayan, they're interested in Krishna. So they are praying to him that, "Please show us where Krishna is." This is our only interest. So this is the Vijayavasi spirit. The spirit is that only love is the criteria, that loving relationship that is there. And that is what our acharyas, that's what they have come to teach us. That is the main teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Well, thank you so much, Sri Sharad Prabhu. This is the beauty of Q&A, questions and answers. I know Govinda Prabhu has something to say. Prabhu, I will get back to you very shortly. It is very important that when a speaker speaks, there will be questions and answers, because that also tells that the audience were actually listening to what the speaker was saying. And so what my question was, and the answer Ishara Prabhu gave, which I'm more than 101% satisfied, is that it is not that the Brajavasis do not have any conception of God, but they do not relate with Krishna and Vrindavan as Krishna being in the office. They relate with him as Krishna being in the house. Because like we all know, Jill Biden is the first lady of US here. She knows that the president is her husband. So in public, even though she is the wife, but she will relate with her because in public, people see him, the president, as president, but at home, she still knows that the husband is the president, but she relates with him differently. So the citizens of Vrindavan, they do not really care about dealing with Krishna as being in the office. But the knowledge that Krishna is the best in everything is there. So thank you for that further explanation. Govinda Prabhu, please, you may go ahead and speak. A question, comment, please.
I'm sorry, I don't have my earphone with me. Am I coming clear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Please accept my respectful obeisances, devotees. And Prabhu, thank you very much for your class. Very, very deep. Prabhu, I know you've read so many books. And so things that we don't know, you are revealing some of those things to us gradually. But there's one thing that is baffling my mind. The question is about the denizens of Jagannath Puri. The devotees in Jagannath Puri seems very, very dear to Lord Jagannath. And that many a time when the Jagannath cart is moving, the cart can stop. Jagannath will stop moving because of one particular devotee. And this devotee, if you
I think
Shri Govinda, you're breaking up. We cannot actually hear you anymore.
So I would like to,
okay.
is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. We can hear you.
So yeah, Prabhu, so I would like to know whether you have read anything concerning the devotees taking birth in Jagannath Puri. Why they are so much they are so dear to Lord Jagannath. And I also know that the devotees in Jagannath Puri don't even need a spiritual master, a guru, to go back to Godhead because of their love for Lord Jagannath or Jagannath's love for them. Can you help me a little bit?
yes, actually, I mentioned earlier that I published one book called Sri Kshetra. Kshetra means the Jagannath Puri. And the subtitle of the book is called Vaikuntha on Earth. Because the demigod, they did not see any resident of Vrindavan, of Jagannath Puri as belonging to this world. They actually see them as Vaikuntha Vasis. And the rule of Yamaraj do not reach Jagannath Puri. Because everyone is, everyone is, Jagannath is their life. So, yeah. Because there are so many great literatures describing the devotees of Puri. Many books are there. And of course, Jagannath Puri could be considered the hidden Vrindavan. That's what is considered there. And Chaitanya Prabhu spent 24 years in Jagannath Puri. After he left Navadvip, from the age of 25 to 48, he was in Jagannath Puri only. And that's where he spent the remaining part of his pastimes. So Jagannath Puri is exceptionally very, very dear place. So we have quite a few books that describe the glories of Jagannath Puri and also the glory of the devotees in Jagannath Puri. So that book of mine, which is called a Strict Kshetra, it was there. I don't know if you heard of that book or not, but you can try to get that book, which we published that book some years ago. Okay.
Yeah, Prabhu, I also heard.
So I'm glad that you have
a.
I'm glad that you have so much appreciation from Jagannath Puri. That's good.
Yes, yes, but there are certain things there that I also like to understand. That the Brahmins, I heard it, I've not read it anyway, that they eat fish, and yes, still they are loved by Lord Jagannath. Have you heard it, or can you say anything about that?
Well, that's a common understanding. That's a common knowledge that the many residents there, the Brahmins, they eat fish, they eat this, but they still, this is some external aspect that we cannot dwell on. It's not up to us to dwell on that aspect of the residents of Jagannath Puri, because they can do many things by which we ordinary souls cannot do. Just like one time when Pundarik Vidyanidhi, when he was in Puri, and he was talking with Swaru Damodara, because he saw that Jagannath servant, they were doing something which is very unusual. They were offering cloth with starch. The cloths had just been washed, a starch cloth, they were offering to Jagannath. So, which is very much against rules and regulation. So, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he was criticized. He said, how could this be? These pujaris, this servant of Jagannath, they're supposed to know the rules. They're supposed to know what to do. Why are they offering this starch cloth to Jagannath? And then Swaru Damodara said, well, that is Jagannath's prerogative. So, he can do what he wants. He can accept what he wants. If you want to accept some starch cloth from his servant, you can accept. That's up to him. But Pundarik, he kept arguing again and again that no, this is against the rule. This is not supposed to be done. It's not supposed to be done. So both of them, because both of them, they were friends, so they were arguing back and forth, and then they were laughing with each other and all that. Now it so happened that in the night, when Pundarik was sleeping, both Jagannath and Baladev came to him. They came to him and they started chastising him heavily. They started beating him. They started slapping him. That how can you be, if you consider yourself such a high Brahman, what are you doing here in Puri? You cannot be here in Puri because you are so high. Go back to your place. You cannot be here in Puri. You think you dare to find fault with my servant? So get out of this place. You don't belong here. And then they started beating Pundarik, slapping him with their hands. So much so that his cheek was swollen like anything. And of course, Pundarik felt himself very, very much fortunate that he's being chastised by the Lord himself, by the Lordship. So the next day, his cheek was swollen, and then so Damodara saw him, said, "Oh, what?" And asking that, "What has happened to you?" And then Pundarik narrated what had happened. That, "Oh, my Lord is chastising me because I criticized his servant. So the Lord is chastising me. Both of them, they were slapping me in my cheek and say." And of course, Swaru Damodara said that, "Oh, you are so fortunate that you received direct beating from the Lord himself, from their Lordship." So, some of these things are going on, but we come to Puri and leave Puri, but those Brahmana, those so-called fish eaters, which is there, it's not to us to criticize them because we don't know. Those are highly elevated souls. They may do so many things to create disturbance for us. Why? What is that disturbance? Because, and that disturbance for us is a test for us. But they create disturbance for us, so just to see what's the level of our own faith. We are not supposed to criticize any devotee of the Lord. So You know, this we heard all the time. They eating fish, they do so many things like that. You know, or they smoke pan, you know. But you know, who take care of the Lord? On the Rath Yatra, the people who are taking care of the Lord, these dieters, who are actually descendants of the Shwashu. They are known to have bad habits. They are known to have bad habits, smoking, so many things like that. But they are the one who have the qualification to take care of the Lord during the Rath Yatra. You can just imagine. So this thing can be totally beyond us. So it's actually better to, you know, focus on our own development of bhakti. It's actually much better for us that way. Otherwise, we should not listen to how others criticize the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri or the Brahmanas, say, oh, they do this, they do this. We should not focus ourselves on that at all. This is just, our focus should be how we can be devotee. And the way to do that by is hard to do our own faith. Our own faith should be nourished like anything. That's what's most important. And that's why one of the reasons why the Acharya said that don't go to this way, don't go to Jagannath Puri for more than 3 days, or don't come to Vrindavan for more than 3 days. Our Acharya do say that because when we come, we will see all these faults. All these faults we will see. And by seeing all these faults, our bhakti get affected.
Thank you so much, Shri.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else with any question, comment?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please go
Yes,
ahead.
on this note, of course, I missed some part because a call came in when Shakra Prabhu was asking questions. But anyway, I followed up later on. But this question of Govinda Prabhu, I just have a realization I would like to share. And I think that as much as we say that Krishna is the God of the universe, and we are not the only one worshiping Krishna, you know, all other people from other traditions are also worshiping Krishna. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, that we may not understand their method, but they are worshiping the same beloved Lord. So I think my realization is that this is the only reason, this gives us a reason to believe that even Muslims or Christians or Buddhists who may not be following all the process of devotional service or regulative principles, they can also, you know, be admitted into the kingdom of God. Because Krishna is giving us that practical example here from Jagannath Puri of devotees who are dear to him, but who may not be seen to be following the same principles like us. So I'm just having this realization that it is not for any reason, but to let us understand that actually in the kingdom of God, the kingdom of God is open for, you know, different categories of devotees. And Krishna is not an Hindu God or God for only one class of people. So that's my realization. I think if we can see this way, unless we want to say that the Muslims cannot go to God and the Christians cannot go to God as long as they eat meat, unless we have that kind of, you know, mentality, then we would probably be disturbed about devotees in Jagannath Puri eating fish. But if we believe that the same God is for everybody, and we can also see in the Bhakti tradition, people eat fish and they are also dear to God. But that does not mean that we have to choose to do that. But we can also see why the Christians and the Muslims can also have access to God, because even in the Bhakti tradition, there are those who may not be following all the principles that we claim to be following, and they are dear to Krishna. So this is just my realization, and I think, you know, I just feel like sharing it. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shri Shara, you have something to say about that?
Yeah, it's good observation, because you know, the path to God is a progressive path. So just like there are different categories of devotees, all devotees are not the same. So it's a different progression. So somebody who is Christian, Muslims, or other faith. Everyone is going to God. It may take how, because because after all, what is Godhead? Godhead does not mean that a specific place. It's actually, it's a realization of the heart. A person can be here now in this world and still being Vaikuntha. Normally, we have to develop what we call Vaikuntha consciousness. That's what was required. So, somebody who's developed Vaikuntha consciousness can be here, it can be there, but it doesn't really matter. So, just like many of us, we all have different backgrounds. Before we came to Krishna consciousness, I came from Muslim background. Then I became. Anyway, we all have different consciousness background when we came in. So obviously, something we must have done good to bring us to this path. So therefore, every part is glorious. Like that famous poem by Slav Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Saranagati, whereby don't think that you are the only one worshiping God. Don't be exactly when Satan telling people not to be proud that you are the only one worshiping God and others are not. Even those who are worshiping the trees, the mountain dweller who only worshiping the trees. Even they have some particular status. So it's not that particularly that those who have taken up the process of chanting, they are the only one who's regarded as the worshiper of God. Everyone who has some let's say some fear of God. Everyone should be commended that way. So yes, so what you said is right. So different progression is there.
Yeah, Ishara Prabhu, I think, well, first of all, thank you for your additional comment to Shriman Vara Prabhu's realization. I think what you just said is slightly different from Shriman Vara Prabhu's realizations in the sense that you are saying that God consciousness is progressive, from one stage to another, things like that. We know that is there. But the amazing devotees of Lord Jagannath, even though they do not follow the principles, the sadhana principles given to us as sadhakas, the Lord is going to say, okay, this time you were eating meat, you sometimes went to the brothel, and so you're going to come back next life and you will not be living this life. As soon as they die, they go back home, back to Godhead. So in that spirit, Shriman Vara Prabhu was saying that who are we to conclude, as sometimes some of us devotees do, that unless someone becomes Hare Krishna devotee, his chance of going back home is not there. He will have to come back in another lifetime to become Hare Krishna devotee. But that doesn't seem to be the case. According to...
Hold on. Being a Hare Krishna devotee does not mean that you're not coming back. You may have to come back for several lifetimes. So...
Well, that is what some devotees say. I'm not saying you, but some devotees say so.
I said being a Hare Krishna devotee doesn't mean that you're not coming back.
Yeah, so the mere fact that somebody being a Muslim or being a Christian, eating meat, eating fish, does not necessarily mean that he is going to progress his spiritual life in the next life and has no possibility of going.
No. Everything is based on progression. Everything is based on progression. Even the part of bhakti is also based on progression. That's what we say. That's what the Shastra said.
If that is the case, does that mean that those Jagannath devotees who are eating meat, they're going to come back?
No, those devotees are very special devotees. Those are special persons. We cannot understand them.
No,
we can't understand them.
So therefore, that is Shriman Vara Prabhu's realization. Then you might have to.
It's a good realization. It's a good realization. That's a good realization, of course. What I'm telling you, based on Shastra, is that there are progression. There are progression of God consciousness. The progression is there. Until you develop love of God, you ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter what part you belong to. The criteria is to develop love of God, whereby God becomes the most important aspect of your life. God is your life, is your Prana.
This love of Godhead you're talking about, from our mundane material estimation, is based on certain principles and certain lifestyles. And who are we to finally judge based on somebody's lifestyle that this person has love of God, this person?
So you're not the one. You're not the one to. You cannot judge until you experience it yourself. You're not the one to judge. We don't judge. We're not in the category of judging. As they say, how can you know who's a pure devotee? You cannot know unless you're a pure devotee yourself. It takes one to know one, as they say. So we cannot say this person has love of God, this person doesn't have love of God. How do you know? Unless you have love of God yourself, you cannot determine who has developed that. You can't. You can only speculate, that's all. So we should not pride ourselves that, we know everything. I know who is going, who is not going. No. That's not devotees' mode. Devotees do not have that mode. And that's how my Prabhu taught us humility. That we have to develop humility. That's the most important thing. The most important aspect of our devotional life is to be humble. You have to understand that we have no qualification. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing in the Chitta Chamrita. He said, I am worse than Jagai and Madai. Even though he's the greatest devotee, he said, I am worse than Jagai and Madai. That's the feeling, the mood of the devotees who stand to make a progress in the path to Krishna, in the path to God, to love of God. That's that part of humility. So that's why I always say that we cannot judge anyone. We can't. We cannot categorize anyone, because unless we in that position of ourselves, we cannot. We can only assume. And that assumption is nothing but speculation. That's all.
Thank you. Shri Chaitanya Prem.
Okay. Chaitanya Prem.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandava Pranam, so glories to you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. How are you?
Glories. My Lord, fine, thank you.
Come back to India.
I'm in India, here in Ghana. I'm in India, in Ghana.
You have to come back physically.
Actually, Prabhuji, what you have said and what Prabhu has said is all complementary anyway. It's complementary, not contradictory. So what I want to also draw attention to is that actually the personalities involved, like even in the Vrindavan pastimes, there were those who are the Shrutisaris, those who were the Devasaris, there are those who are also directly from Goloka. So different sets of people are involved. And in Jagannath Puri also, those who have come in the pastime of Jagannath, they are not from here. They are not conditioned souls like that, like us who need to practice sadhana bhakti to gradually elevate ourselves. They are already coming with the Lord for pastimes. So their level is completely different. So I'm saying this because Christians and Muslims, I cannot accept that they can go back to Godhead anyway. God, that's my opinion, but we know that their understanding is never beyond the heavenly planets. So how can they cross over the river Viraj to the other side? See, but on the other hand, for those who have come specifically with the Lord for pastimes, their activities are inconceivable. And I believe that the Jagannath Puri devotees, they have come with the Lord for pastime. So their level, we cannot define it, we cannot understand them with our own intelligence. But ordinarily speaking, majority of people, including the Christians and the Muslims, they are conditioned souls who are trying, like some of us, trying to purify themselves in order to elevate gradually. You see? So we should not forget that fact. It is true that everyone is on the path. Krishna said it. Everyone is on my path. Everyone, including the Christians and the Muslims and the pagans. But they are on different level. This is where the progression comes in. So ordinarily, to classify or to give chance to permission to Christians and Muslims to enter into Goloka, it's not it's not possible. Even Vaikuntha, they can go to some heavenly planets. You see, but for those who have come with the Lord for specific pastimes, they can do whatever they like, and they are beyond the rules and regulations, and they can go. But the Muslims and Christians, anyway, maybe it's my own low thinking, but as far as my intelligence could allow, they are not going beyond any heavenly planets. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was talking with Kazi, Chankazi, when he was talking with him, and Chankazi was trying to defend, Muslim religions and all that. And then Mahaprabhu, after, of course, logically, he was trying to point out to Chankazi that, look, that your scriptures is based on illusion. Because any scripture that said that God is one, it's all one, my word. So Mahaprabhu said that your scripture is based on imagination. So that's when Mahaprabhu was discussing with Chankazi. And of course Chankazi also accepted and said, yes, you are right, because he said, yes, our scriptures has developed just recently. So therefore, but because of our community, we are bound to accept it because of being part of our community. So therefore, we are bound to accept it. So, and that's why you have this class of Muslims called the Sufis. The Sufis, they are most philosophically inclined. So they are more into philosophy therefore they actually try to go beyond what ordinary Muslims know. So they're more philosophical and they are more open to all their spiritual ideas. The Sufi, I'm sure we have so many Sufis in Africa also. So anyway, Virat Prabhu is very generous, is very liberal, and is very, very, let's say, merciful. Say, yes, Christian, Muslim, they are going back to Godhead. No, but yes, because he's very merciful anyway. So he can extend his mercy to them. Okay, you cannot go. Just like when my Prabhu met Jagai Madai, he did not consider that these people, they are so offensive, they are so sinful. But Mahaprabhu, due to the intervention of Nityananda Prabhu, he embraced them and he instantly gave them love of God without any qualification. He instantly gave them love of God, immediately gave them love of God. So that is there through the mercy of the devotees.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you so much. And Sri Chaitanya Prema Prabhu, thank you for your contribution. And I was very impressed when you said, well, I think this is coming from my own little understanding, which is right. We are all having the right to speak our minds, but speaking our mind does not necessarily mean that is the right thing. Because what Sri Chaitanya Prema Prabhu you said can be true and can be wrong at the same time, in the sense that we cannot, just like Ishara Prabhu was saying, that we cannot judge everyone, but we can judge if someone is practicing what he or she is supposed to be practicing. I have heard from my Gurudev, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, that sometimes a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, can decide to enter into this material world in a very ordinary manner, just to help others. That does not mean that that person himself is also in that tamasic mood, just as Lord Shiva is in charge of the mode of tamas, but he is not tamasic. And so it is quite dangerous. It's a subtle danger that some devotees have, that until one becomes Hare Krishna devotee, there is no possibility. Even though, like Ishwara Prabhu said, the mere fact that somebody is a Krishna devotee does not give him the warranty of going back home. It depends on what he or she does. But the immediate idea that any path other than Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of going back home, back to Godhead, is a farce. It's false. It's never true.
So let's say Arichakra Prabhu has a question.
Hare Krishna, please
Arichakra Prabhu.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
Oh, no. I don't necessarily have a question. I was just giving a little bit comment, and then Sahadev even hit part of the point I was going to make. Like we said, like Ishwara, you yourself was saying that being a Hare Krishna devotee doesn't necessarily mean that you are going back to God. You might have to come back for some time. Similarly, like all these scriptures, I mean, my personal observation and my personal realization about all these other scriptures, because I've read the Quran to some extent, and the Bible, especially if anyone wants to actually know how the devotional aspect of the Bible, and the person reads the chapter 6 of the book of John. There, Jesus was actually trying to, go deeper into real devotion. So I have the strong opinion, and I know Guru Maharaj also said it, like Sade was saying, that there are some people who appear in other traditions who may be pure devotees of Krishna, but they appeared in that tradition just to bring the people, elevate them, bring them up. So we cannot conclude that simply because the people belong to a particular tradition, they will not be qualified to. Of course, majority of the people in that tradition may be aiming at a particular goal because of shallow-mindedness, but that doesn't conclude that everybody in that part is is seeking for heaven. There are Christians and there are some Muslims who are actually seeking for higher realms, who are seeking for real devotion to God and not just aiming at heaven. So this is a little chip in that I was trying to bring in, that we are all on the same path, but we might have some knowledge, and even with us ourselves, like I was told a couple of minutes ago, that within ourselves, we may read the scripture, we may not even understand it. But with time, as long as we remain in this boat, like Krishna himself said, eventually we might be qualified to go back home, back to God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I think we've already spent we are close to 3 hours, so maybe we bring the class to a close, except Ishwara Prabhu, you have something to conclude on?
I just encourage everyone to spend more time reading the scriptures. We have so many wonderful scriptures, especially a book by Srila Prabhupada. I just encourage everyone to read more and to study more and to try to deliberate more on what you are reading. At the same time, be more focused, be more attentive to your chanting. Because the more you do this thing, the more the realization becomes. So that's just my view. That we have to share ourselves. We have to always be serious in the process, because Krishna consciousness is not easy thing. It's not cheap thing. So the energy we put into it, from that so much energy that we get the result. And we have to make sure that our faith is increasing. We have to have faith in the Vaishnavas, have faith in the scriptures, of course, have faith in the Guru and have faith in the Supreme Lord. So that faith has to be increasing, all the time. Then we can get the Lord's mercy. Otherwise, it's not. Krishna said, some Mahatmas to do, like I said, those who come to me, they are very, very rare. Krishna said, very, very rare. Those who come to me. Because Krishna does not make himself available very easily. But Sudulabha means very, very rare. Those who come to him. Okay. So thank you very much for everyone for listening to me. And I hope I'll be able to say anything that is meaningful. Okay. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sri Shara Prabhu. So at this point, we're kindly asking all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we chant to take Hare Krishna mantra to express our appreciation to our speaker today. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Kripa Sindhu.
Our glory is His grace, Sri Shara Prabhu ki Jai.
Yes. Yes, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare